Hello everyone and welcome to what is not another TVP game. I've noticed that although I have kept the production tab open for most of my games, I haven't really given you guys a real description of my build order, nothing concrete anyway. And although the production tab is pretty useful for determining build orders, it's not the best tool in the world. And when I say it's not a real TVP game, I mean I'm playing against an AI, not a real player. I'm playing against Cheater 1 resources, so if you guys want to see just more games, skip over this video. It's going to be a tutorial for how to effectively execute my build order. Or if you guys aren't really sure if this style is really for you, just skip, and we'll get into the mid-game in the next couple of videos. And for those of you still here, hello! I'll be posting the build order itself at the description at the end of this video, so don't worry, I'll help you guys out. If you remember correctly, I tend to get my second racks on 13 supply. Whether you get it at 13 or 14 doesn't really matter, it's just a preference thing. It allows the Marines to line up a bit more. So we're going to scout here and never forget this depot, okay? If you forget this depot, you will probably lose the game. It's that bad. You know. So back to the SCV. What we need to scout here is if our opponent has mined 200 gas or more. If he has, we cannot use this build. We have to resort to something like 211 or some sort of factory tech play because we can't really hold off what he's going to do with it. As long as he hasn't mined 200 gas, we're okay with our build order. So at 4, we're going to throw down an expo. And if you notice, we just barely have enough minerals for it. We don't have enough for continuous production and the expo, so just ignore the production for a sec, then get the Marines up, and followed by the SCV. After that, you can get your depot. The depot placement here, this is just so I can keep tabs on how many expansions he has. You don't need to do this, you can just put it in your base where it's safe, where it won't get sniped. But I prefer to just keep tabs on what my opponent is doing and how many expos he has. It's purely preference thing. Now we will attack at 5 minutes. And this is really important because our attack is going to hit around 6 minutes, right before warp gate's going to be done. So this is why this is effective, and also why we can grab our expo here, defend it, while also grabbing another expo, an inbase 3rd CC at 5:30. And I forgot to mention this, but your barrack should be done, your 3rd rack should be done around 5:30 as well. So another thing, I tend to push with SCVs, 2 SCVs. Don't overdo it. This is purely optional. If you prefer having the income, just leave the income. And before pushing out again, make sure you click on the orbital, because this will screw you up late game. So it's kind of important. I'm going to fast forward because it's just the AI. A real player would not let me kill the probe like this. This is just terrible. Between 620 and 630-ish, you want to double mule here, as well as get double refineries up. Continue doing your little thing. And then once once the fight is done, just get another factory, a 4th one, around, well, before 7 minutes. You don't really want to delay this too much because you need the Marine count to defend yourself, because this is a really ultra greedy build that we were doing. And if you didn't screw up your macro, if you got kind of lucky, you will have 16 Marines at 7:30, and 16 is a good number. It's the magic number because you can 2-shot stalkers and zealots, if you remember correctly. Well, 15 is the number, but one Marine always gets sniped before you can 2-shot, so that's why I get 16. And I'm a bit slow. Whether you go here or now, it doesn't really matter that much. 16 is really the prime number. If you say that you missed a production tab, like a production round for Marines, and you have 13, it's okay to wait for another 30 seconds for the appropriate number of Marines to show up. Because if you remember correctly, the mothership core works in increments of 3 minutes. So as long as you as long as you move out before 8:30, you're okay. Because Protoss can't really have enough photon overcharge for a second denying of your push. So behind this, you want to get double tech labs, start your research, stim and combat shields. Or stim and concussive shells. Oh my god. And I'm going to fast forward because this is not really important, it's just the AI. Lots of stalkers, makes sense because we are producing Marines. And lots of stalkers is a good thing for us because our next push is going to have lots of marauders to counteract the stalkers. We're going to get lots of freebies. Now here is where I need to pause because this gets complicated. You have the choice of going for either one refinery or two refineries. The one refinery, the one I like, is more bio-focused. You get a heavy racks number, and what this allows you to do is it allows you to deny your opponent's third wherever he is. Unfortunately, it does delay the factory and therefore the starports, so you can't really contest any Colossus count you can't really drop, which is unfortunate, but whatever. If you go for double gas style, you can't really deny your opponent's third, but you can contest the Colossus and you can drop, which is also nice. I don't know why, bio play just works for me. I always go bio against Protoss. Anyway, we're supposed to push out at 10:30 when stim is finished, which it is now. Combat chills is going to be finished by the time we move, but that's okay then. When we move out, make sure to research +1/+1, get a fourth CC, and if you haven't yet, get your factory. This is pretty much the longest you can delay to the factory before pretty much losing the game. And this push here indicates the beginning of the mid-game, because we're going to see what our opponent has. He's going to either reveal the Colossus or expo or whatever he's going for. Fast forward. Right, and the mid-game is normally what I should pause it, because every game will play differently. In this case, I'm just getting a single starport. But if you see early Colossus, you might opt for 2 starports. If you see Templar, you might opt for Ghost, or if you see drops, maybe, I don't know, maybe turrets or something. But I'm going to continue just because, even with weird games, there's always some things that's going to remain the same. Basically, the first one, we can push when one is done, and in this case, we get double medevacs with our push, so we can drop as well. Nice to have options open. And while we do that, we also get add-ons for our Raxes, which is nice. Behind the push is when we can really secure the time necessary to get the add-ons up. And I'm going to stop here because there's no point going any further. This is pretty much what the build order looks like. In this case, I get 12 Raxes. I always get 12 Raxes every game, but if you prefer going for double gas, feel free to get like 10 Raxes or even 8 Raxes just to get the starport up a little bit later. Or sooner. The heavy bio play is just something that I like to do. It's a preference thing. If you're more comfortable standard play, go standard. It's easier. And once again, this is just the build order. I hope it helps you guys. And just remember that you need to scout where your opponent is doing. If he's going for one base all in, you just throw down the bunkers. If he's going for really fast double gas at the very beginning, just transition to something more gas heavy, more defensive. And yeah, this is pretty much it for this video. I hope you guys liked it. Just ask me questions if you guys have any in the descriptions or the comments, and I'll answer them as soon as I can. And yeah, that's it for now. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Happy Friday, I guess. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye for now.